Hello, and welcome to the Joy Corner. I'm Carol DeChaine, your intuitive spiritual guide for practical matters, and I'm bringing these mini lessons at this point every other week to help you take what you need and then leave the rest. This week, it's all about being your best self. How do you become your best self, and what does that mean exactly? So, being your best self to me means feeling content with where you are. Maybe, depending on the person, some people are more easier to tell they're happy where they're at, they're loving where they're at, and they feel kind of a balance. So, whether well, if you're not a spiritual person, you're probably not listening to this. So, you want to kind of balance what's happening in the real world with what's happening with your emotional self, your physical self, the reality you're living in, meaning your job, your home, your people, and your spiritual feeling. So if all those things are semi balanced at least, you're going to be happier. So if you look at the spots that aren't happy, that are making pulling you down, making you uncomfortable, those are the things that are stopping you from being your best self. So if you hate your job, if your boss is a terrible person and you're not necessarily in real life, but at least in the work life, they're a terrible boss, let's put it that way. They're not someone you can get along with. You hate going to work. You're not being your best self because you're not being where you need to be. If you've ever talked to a customer service person and they are totally not helpful, they're totally either sometimes they're bound by their restrictions, and that's one thing. But if they don't know what they're doing, they don't follow through for you, and you just go, they're not being their best self because they're not in a kind of job that's good for them or anybody else. And that goes with anything. I hate used car salesmen that actually act like the what we always thought of as used car salesman. I want somebody helpful, somebody who isn't going to shove me towards something I have no interest in, who's pushy because I'm the one that goes in the opposite direction and says, fine, if you can't help me and answer my questions, I'm out of here. Because that's not being my best self, is not letting myself get sucked into people who have their opinions that I force them on me. It's like somebody coming to my door trying to make me believe in their religion. It just isn't what it doesn't make me be my best self. I'm happy to talk to anybody about anything, but I don't feel like somebody who has to be right and therefore they push it in your face is somebody. I'm happy for them to discuss it. And if I agree with them, then I go, oh, maybe you're right. Tell me some more because I'm happy to do that. But I'm not willing to have someone shove a wall in my face saying, this is what you must be like. And then I can't be my best self because I'm not being true to myself. And I say these things because I want you to see if anything sounds familiar, to see if you are letting other people kind of lead you, I say by the nose, but lead you somewhere that you're going, but this isn't who I am. This isn't my best self. So the way to find who your best self is to look at the squeaky wheels and see what isn't working for you. And I've used the squeaky wheel thing many times, so you may have heard this from me before, but whatever is poking its little face out that makes you uncomfortable, people that make you uncomfortable, and you look at those things and you go, I don't necessarily have to not see and people anymore or not do this particular job, but I need to look at them and see how I can adjust and revise and shift things so that I feel like I'm in a good place, like I am more balanced and happier. Because if you hate coming home after work, you have to look at why. Sometimes this is a job. How do you be your best self? But you can also go to a therapist if you have past issues, life coaching if you want to look at future issues. That's kind of the way I look at it. Therapist, great for the past, fixing the past if you want to go back and look at it. Life coach for releasing some of the things that you're holding on to and moving forward. It depends on the person you pick for that. Because you may find I'm supposed to go to a therapist, but I hate going. Either it means one of two things. It's the wrong person for you, and that's probably the case, or you just adamantly you're going, but you really don't want to go. It's more like somebody forced you to go. So you can shift and change to a different person, and it might make all the difference if that's the direction you want to go. And it's just figuring out who you are sometimes. It's really helpful because so many people layer on us. You should do this. This is who you are. Parents do it, teachers do it, and they don't, well, necessarily do it with a purpose, as in saying, they might have seen a teacher saw a older brother or sister as either smart or not so smart, and they put that mantle on you just because you were a sibling. And so you feel that at some point you kind of live up to it or down to it because that's what somebody expects of you. So don't let expectations, yours or someone else's, mess with being your best self, because your best self simply is. The more in connection you can get with your spiritual self, with that perfect alignment that you have, the more you'll be your best self. And even if you're not all that spiritual, you don't have to necessarily go through a million classes. I started with transcendental meditation when I was at church, and I have to say it calmed my mind and it allowed new thoughts to come in. So there's all kinds of stuff that you can do. There's, well, you can become a Reiki practitioner if you want to go in that direction. You can do the transcendental meditation. You can go take classes, maybe through your church if you have one, or you can go ahead and go to the therapist or the life coach, or you can do a lot of different things. You can just meditate on your own. Go for a walk. Whatever, maybe driving in traffic makes you, instead of going crazy, you go inward and you think more. So we know our own responses. We know what would make ourselves our best selves. It's like we know what our life purpose is. We just think it's hard. Many, many, many people, like most of us, think it's hard to know how to do things, how to be our best self. It's too amorphous. It's not specific. It's like, what does that mean exactly? And those are the kind of things that you look at and you go, I don't have to know right now. Let your expectations go because it may not be who you think you're supposed to be. My best work right now, I work part time, remotely, doing paralegal and numbers work. And then I do these sorts of things. I do theater. I do music. I do things I love. I have a dog, which you may hear from time to time in my videos. A little noises or a little, he shook in one of the other videos that I was recording today. So just realize that you are the only one who knows, and you may not know right now, what your best self feels like. What is it? And ultimately, it is as much of a balance as you can get between your spiritual self, your emotional self, what you need, your material self, what you need, like a home of some sort, relationships, all those things, your job, the reality, along with the spiritual, the mental, the physical, all of those things all come together to help you find your best self. So don't forget about it. Don't use others' expectations to figure it out. If you look at them, they may help you figure it out. But because sometimes when I had somebody ask me for advice and she would never take it, and it just pissed me off. And not all the time, but it did every once in a while. It was like, and I finally asked her after years, why do you ask my opinion if you never take it? And she said, oh, well, it's really helpful to me because I ask you and it's never what I would do. So therefore, I get clearer on who I am. So if you look at what other people tell you, I was fine after she told me that because at least I knew why she was asking. Why are you bothering to ask my opinion? And we've both grown since then, I'll just tell you. But it was enlightening to know that that's what you needed to do. And so you may need to talk to other people about something or another, get somebody's opinion and go, yeah, that's not my opinion at all. But don't take what other people say as gospel. Take them as suggestions so that you can then check in with yourself and say, this doesn't feel right to me. This isn't who I am. This is them, and it's not me. And that's okay. Honestly, it's very helpful. So you don't have to tell them, no, I don't want to do that. Just do what you, that way they won't get upset. But just gonna say thank you. Oh, that was very enlightening. Yeah, your opinion is helpful, but it doesn't mean that you have to take it. So whatever you do to find your best self, and that will keep changing, but find that balance. Figure out where the squeaky wheel is and see what you can do to help yourself be the best that you can be. Be that best, beautiful self that you already are, but you may have a few layers on top that you have to kind of throw off in order to feel like you are your best self. Thanks for joining me. If you like what you hear, by all means, subscribe to the channel. And if you like, click on the bell notification so you know the next time that a video is posted. And these, right now, the mini lessons in the Joy Corner are posted every other week. And on the off weeks, I am posting old archived podcasts because I don't think enough people heard them the first time around. And some of them are I love. I took a lot of time writing those. These are more off the cuff, mini lessons that I allow spirit to take me where I need to go, and I just figure out the subject ahead of time. But the other ones were written and really, really thought through. So they have a lot of layers and a lot of how to do things and how to recognize things in them at depth. And a lot of them have meditations in them and guided visualizations. So just what's out there in case you just have to kind of crawl through all of the 4 or 5 years of almost weekly videos. Until next time, do realize that you are more than enough and you are already your best self in there somewhere. You just have to release whatever's holding you back and find maybe things that will help you be your best self.